Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, we've got a lot to get through. There's going to be a lot that comes out in the next few minutes. Let me just give you the brief update on what's happened. Just let me tweet it out very quickly that we are live, obviously. At some point, I will open the lines. I don't know if fan cams is happening tonight because, to be frankly honest, there has been so much happening. There's drama all over the place. So let me just tweet out that we are live. S. Featley wants you on his channel now. I'm sure. Look, we're not here to discuss him or anything really about him because, to be fair, I it's done. It's done. Yeah. So, as I say, actually, that's a bloody good. Oh no. Let me, as I say, just tweet this out. He does. No, I don't think he does. I think someone is playing some silly buggers. So obviously, right. I should have really done this before we went live, but I didn't want to miss anything. Just in case it happened. So I'm just going to tweet it out now. Fight me, Hamilton. Cry for me, Hamilton. Yeah. Yeah. I've watched all the angles. There's so much that we're going to get into today. There's sort of tonight or today. There's just so much. Because of what's happened, it's just insane. Join me as I am live awaiting the FIA verdict for today's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. See, there we go. All sorted. Whilst you're doing that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Make sure you have notifications turned on. If you so wish to, join our Discord server. A massive thank you to Kenny, who has put in so much work for that. So, you know, big up to Kenny. He can be a bit of a twat, but he's done a good job there. Nearly there. I mean, there's so much to get into. It's going to be there were two things. There's two. So we'll see. Let me just make sure I put the thumbnail in there. We're awaiting one more verdict. So we've had one verdict come through already. We're awaiting one more verdict to come through imminently. They're meant to be going to get it now. So yeah. But I've just tweeted it out. If you could retweet that, I've done it on my personal account because, to be frankly honest, I don't really have the time to mess around. Horner is on the way to the Stewards to get a second verdict. Well, that's the thing. I really need to have Sky Sports on because I'm going to probably need to listen to what is happening. There is a lot going on. So 6 minutes, 7 minutes ago. No, we don't want. Where's the first verdict? So the first one, protest dismissed regarding overtaking behind the safety car. So the first thing that they wanted to do was they wanted to protest that that Max Verstappen overtook Lewis Hamilton under the safety car, which, to be frankly honest, complete and utter bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit. Yes, his wing was there. I'm not gonna lie. His wing was right in front. It was. But for all of the new people that has listened or watched Formula One for years, that has happened more times than I've had hot dinners, right? It's always been the way where the first two, they're just jostling for a bit of position. There's a bit of mind games going on. The leaders put on the brakes a little bit. One's gone in front. As long as you're in front, you're behind, shall I say, for Verstappen, as long as you're behind, all is good there. I've had some notifications. I don't know if this is coming, if anything's come out yet. No, not yet. Not yet. I haven't seen anything. If anyone does have any information, let me know. When Brock says Supermax indeed. But we are waiting imminently for that second one, that second verdict. So that first verdict, the overtaking under the safety car, that has been dismissed by the race director and all that. I don't want to watch a goal from. I definitely don't want that. That's what I want. So as I say, we're waiting for the second appeal. So yeah. So the first one has been dismissed. They are waiting. So 22:30. So the time in Abu Dhabi right now, is 22:47. So it is 47 minutes past 10 at the night. So yes, we're away. Apparently, there's some information that's come out saying that the FIA decided Hamilton won. I don't think I've seen any of that. That I've not. So we're going live over to. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. So we're still waiting at the moment. They've just gone to Craig Slater. I'll get that information just come over in just a second. I've not had anything. I'm watching Chris Medland. So I'm just listening. Just listening to Craig Slater and Damon Hill at the moment. I'm trying. They're showing pictures of Horner, Meadows. We're not sure what's happening. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. As if you could, almost 100 people watching this so far. That is amazing. We love to see it. So we're just waiting to see. Is it on Sky? It's on Sky Sports. It's on Sky Sports. As I say, I am trying to find as much information. Will Buxton's normally pretty damn good as well. We don't know actually who is still at Abu Dhabi. That is the issue. We don't even know who is still at Abu Dhabi. Will Buxton, it would appear, is still at Abu Dhabi because he tweeted about the protest overtaken under a safety car was dismissed. Obviously, that is always going to happen. Always going to happen. Because as I say, we see it all the time. We see it where, a wing gets in front of the others. It happens all the time, guys. So that one I'm not too surprised about. The one we're looking for, the one we're really thinking about, is that that restart. The restart is where the Mercedes team have the issue. Yeah, we're just, as I say, waiting. The interesting that the FIA Twitter is talking about Max Verstappen winning his first World Drivers' Championship. That was 21 minutes ago. Now, the bit I don't get is why on earth you would say that if you're about to take it. And I don't know. I don't care. Oh, it's just a social media. They would have been told to hold off on that until there's more of an idea. So it is a madness. So some comments here. Chris says, I think Max will be champion. It will be pushed under a carpet, in my opinion. There's a strong possibility that could happen. It is 10:50 there. So, you know, both teams should have picked up the thing. Anchor says, what is the problem? Please explain with the restart. Imagine being such a sore loser. Look, I don't think I don't think they should overturn it. If you want my personal opinion, and look, I'll get Lewis fans and haters in here having a go at me. I really, frankly, don't care. I don't think you should. I think what they did is integrity of the race. They did not want to wait. They did not want to finish the Grand Prix behind a safety car. And absolutely, and I agree with Michael Massey there. This season should not and could not have finished under a safety car. Right? Formula One fans, this has been the most amazing, dramatic season we will probably see in the next 20 years. These come once in a very, very, very long time. Therefore, you cannot, in my opinion, overturn this decision. It would be wrong. And no. And look, Lewis was robbed. I mean, we could sit here all day and talk about Silverstone. We could sit here all day and talk about Valtteri Bottas playing 10-pin bowling with a Formula One car at Hungary. We could talk about so many of these issues that Lewis has got the better run of the green. You think about it. You think about when Lewis, and again, rightly or wrongly, punted Max into the tyre barrier at Copse at Silverstone. And I ask you, do you think 10 seconds was enough for that? I disagree. I completely disagree. It should have been more. He should not have had the ability to win that race. Now, Baku, that's not really anyone's fault. I mean, that does happen in Formula One. It's a really difficult situation, but at no point has Lewis been robbed. This is a title over an entire season, and I must stress that he hasn't been robbed. This season is not 57 laps. This season is 22 races. We started all the way back last March in Bahrain with the start of the race. Right, we started them, right, and now we've ended in December in Abu Dhabi. The decider has been the entire season, all the way through, right? And we have to understand that. At the beginning, Lewis should have been penalised. If you're talking about that, the overtaking of the turn, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one. Fucker, what's the decision? Tell us that. Well, fucker, I'm still waiting, mate. Believe it or not, I'm not the FIA. Right, so I'm not the FIA. I don't really control what they do and when they announce it. What I'm saying is that they are going to announce it very soon. That's what we do know. Big up to Milan. Sherry says lap one. I agree. Max should have won 75 points more. Was robbed of 3 wins. Thanks and out. I completely agree. Super Max indeed. Up the Pilgrims. We love to see it. It is mad. We appreciate everyone who is currently watching. Please hit that subscribe button as well. If you are new to the channel, it would be massively helpful. We do Formula One coverage. We also do coverage of football, Premier League a lot. Riley says, no, you're right, mate. How have you been? I've been fantastic. It's been brilliant. It's been a long day. My heart rate came down after the race because we did a watch along, and boy, I can tell you, it was brutal. It was brutal. We're going to have a decision next 15-20 minutes. How so? He's world champion. Well, how? Obviously, we're still waiting, as I say, for this second verdict. The first verdict has been dismissed. We're still waiting on the third. Max would have already won the championship if he wasn't driven off the road, driven off by Bottas at Monza or Little Bumper Silverstone. Well, don't forget when Bottas decided to play 10-pin bowling with his Mercedes and took out Lando and Max and I think Charles Leclerc. Yeah, Michael saved F1. Look, Michael Massey has had the most difficult job in the world, and I think he's done a fantastic job so far. Max win the world championship. It's a tough one. You up for a late show, Nigel? Yeah, sure. Why not? Not a problem. Why not? What is so? Yeah, the restart. So as I say, what they did is they allowed 5 people. Right, they allowed 5 people or 5 drivers to move up. Right, so to move up or to unlap themselves, shall I say? And that's caused problems with let me just take that out. That has caused problems with Toto Wolff and Mercedes, who are saying that shouldn't have been happening. That shouldn't have been allowed. Everyone should have happened. The rules do say, and I will be fair, the rules do say the safety car has to do another lap before you restart. But to be fair, this is a world championship decider, and you didn't have another lap unless you're going to add one on. Now, I do think this could be an interesting one. British touring cars. You're probably thinking, why on earth are you about to go on about British touring cars? What they do is when there's a safety car, they add the laps on at the end of a race. We should look at something like that. That solves half this problem. Half of this problem is solved by that. So that's one option that we could do. But yes, bloody hell, a lot of people, everyone wants to know the results. That's what I'm also wanting to know. My take is that we should that the racing should be done on the track. The racing was done on the track. The race is over. We've had the pictures. The trophies have been handed out. There's no clear wrongdoing. I say, Max should have it. Max should have it. Can you please explain what happened? Well, as I say, there's 2 protests. So protest 1 was overtaken over a safety car. That was chucked away pretty swiftly, quite easily. We see it all the time, jostling for position, mind games a lot. We've seen it all the time. It's unreal the amount of times we see it. So that's one take. The other one was the whole restart, the letting 5 of the lap cars past and not all of them, the restarting on that lap that they passed, it's a mess. It is a complete and utter mess, but it's a really difficult job. It's gonna go right to where this may get decided, on a this may go all the way to the Court of Arbitration. Do not be surprised. Do not be surprised. Don't favour Max, just that. Be neutral. You're here to convey. I'm not favouring Max. That's the thing. I'm not favouring Max. What I'm saying is my view. My view is that I think they should let it happen. That is the way it should have been. In my opinion, it should be done. But, and I do also give my view, if you like that. Respect you being so objective. Well, I'm trying to be as objective as I can. Red Bull narrowly win the race to FIA HQ. Hear the verdict. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. No, the OGs are falling apart. Don't leave me. Hamilton is finished. The stream is popping off. It's a shame F1 had to overturn the result of the racing championship, if not by the FIA decision by a court of arbitration. In sports, Mercedes has got this. Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. There has been no information that that this is done. There's been no communication yet. I'm still waiting. I've literally, I kid you not, I've got the FIA Twitter page open. Not even they've tweeted anything. They tweeted the classification. Obviously, that is always the classification that can change, and that's about it. And they tweeted about Max winning the World Drivers' Championship. Next season's F1 is Mercedes all the way. Well, you absolutely know. You absolutely do not know. That's for sure, because of all of the changes. The second verdict is pointed to the FIA. Is it? Will it affect Max Championship? Well, it is. The second verdict is definitely pointed towards the FIA. It's Chris has tweeted. Chris Medland has tweeted. Let's see what he said. Red Bull stating the protest has not been upheld. So, according to Chris, Red Bull stating the protest has not been upheld. If that's the case, then that would mean that Max Verstappen is the World Drivers' Champion, right? That would be that. The second verdict is pointed to the FIA, but it would appear that Red Bull stating the protest has not been upheld. That would appear that Max Verstappen has won the World Drivers' Championship. That would appear. You told your opinion, but who do you really want to win? Say Max. Well, I'm not going to lie. I have always wanted Max to win, but that doesn't mean that I can't be unbiased when it comes to this and looking at it in terms of a race fan. That is true, but we're just as I say, it appears that the protest has not been upheld. I'm not sure if Lewis would want to win the championship like this, especially since he would go down in history. But again, his ego knows no bounds. Look, I think Lewis would take a win, however the win is taken. FIA deleted the Verstappen champion tweet. Right. All right, they're just talking. Someone saying his ego knows no bounds, but I'm being objective. Well, no, I was reading out a comment. I don't think you really understand what's happening here. I actually you might want to learn. I was reading a comment. If you look at the screen, but these are some interesting comments for sure. The thing is, Max probably deserves a championship this season, but today was absolute robbery. And do you know what? That is probably the way to word it. Max Verstappen, there is no one here who can sit here and tell me that Max Verstappen did not deserve to win this year's World Championship. No one, not one of you can sit here and tell me that Max Verstappen has not deserved to win this. But there is a but. The way today was handled was absolutely, it was a joke. It was a joke. There is no doubt about that. This is going to go to the appeals court anyway. That absolutely will. They haven't deleted the tweet, by the way. It's reading the comment. Be unbiased when it comes to this slide, Dignal. maybe. Just trying to find some more comments. Big up to Wolf. Wolf is loving this. Is there any news? So yes, the news is the breaking news. Max Verstappen has been confirmed the world champion of 2021. The appeals have not been upheld. And we are obviously going to expect that to go to the Court of Arbitration. There's absolutely no doubt on this planet this is going to go to the Court of Arbitration. There's no doubt about that. I can assure you of that. But it's going to be mad. It is going to be mad. Let's go through some more. They shouldn't change the result, but Massey changes his mind on the fly just shows why he needs to be replaced. Replace him with who? Whom would you like to replace Michael Massey with? Because the thing is, right, the thing is, we lost the one man who knew how to do all of this, right? The one man who had the books in his head, right? He had the books in his head. He didn't need the help. And that was Charlie Whiting. Unfortunately, Charlie Whiting passed away. Someone had to take the role. Now, I think there's a lot that's gone wrong this year. And when I do my yearly review, I will document a lot of what I think has gone wrong with in terms of Michael Massey and in terms of all of the decisions. The thing is, and we have to be clear here, Michael Massey needs help. I don't think Michael Massey is a bad person. I don't even think Michael Massey did a bad job. What I do think is Michael Massey needs some help. You've got Christian Horner in one ear. You've got Toto in the other. Then you're also thinking in your head, I need to think about what I'm doing for the race. I'm thinking of the viewers watching at home. I'm thinking of viewers watching at the track. And he's also thinking of the safety. He has got so much on his plate. He needs some help. He needs some help. And I think that's fair. I think it was Nico Rosberg or Jensen on Sky F1 that said that there was some help needed. And you know what? I completely 100% agree. He needs help. That's for sure. Robbery, what about Silverstone? A lot of Max fans will talk about Silverstone. A lot of Max fans will talk about Silverstone. He didn't deserve it for 53 laps. Okay, so we'll just ignore the other 21 races. They didn't actually happen, guys. So according to Valibav, or we'll call you Deep, you know, the race, the championship, the World Drivers' Championship, guys, is 53 laps, according to Deep here. Congratulations, you've just won Stupid Comment of the Year. In one lap, he becomes champion. Absolute shame. It wasn't over one lap. Really? Are you serious? Crikey, I think you need a bit of help, boys. I think you need a little bit of help. It's clear you don't like F1 if you want to complain about a last lap you do not watch. Well, I'm not complaining about a last lap. I fucking loved it. I'm not gonna lie. I've loved this season. It's been absolutely magic. It has been magical. I've loved every minute of it. It's been brilliant. Unless you're talking about someone else, of course. Max received a penalty last race. This race, the same thing happened. Hamilton doesn't receive a penalty. Joke of the FIA. There has been a lot of inconsistencies. What for the FIA? What, race director? No, Ross Brawn's already got a job with Formula One. He's already got a job with Formula One. Big up to Box. Why do you think Charlie Whiting was good? A driver died because of him. Say what you want, but Massey, but he hasn't let someone die. Oh, wow. Wow. Of all of the comments, oh, wow. You really, I'll take that back, Deep. You have not won Stupid Comment of the Week. Brad has won it. If you don't think Formula One is safer now after what Charlie Whiting has done for the sport, then boy, please don't watch again. Please don't watch Formula One. If you don't think Charlie Whiting, who pioneered so much safety, of course he made mistakes. Of course, Jules Bianchi would probably be here if we had a virtual safety car. But guess what? That happened because of Jules Bianchi. Do you know what? The hands device was brought in because of probably what happened to Senna and other drivers in the 80s and 90s. You know, the ones that died, right? That, unfortunately, is the way it's been. And you cannot foresee an incident. You cannot foresee what changes need safety or medical to improve this, the sport. Sid Watkins was a fabulous, an absolute fabulous FIA doctor. He had Senna die on his watch. Doesn't mean he wasn't any good. He was the best in the sport. I mean, that really is a flippant comment, and I really don't understand what you mean by that. Well, actually, I just cannot believe you just said that. F1 is not the same as it was when Senna and Schumacher ruled F1. It's very different. Very, very different. First year, I think isn't it his second year? Is it not his second year this year? I'm pretty sure he was around last year, was he not? I'm pretty sure. None of the drivers are to blame. Anything first team Mercedes who made a mistake by not pitting. There is that as well. You could argue that because Mercedes sort of did bring this on themselves. Why did Lewis complain about Perez driving as dangerous? Maybe he should have begun a career as a school bus driver. The answer to Toto was correct. It's called motorsport racing. Well, the best bit is, what about when Lewis pushed him towards the barrier? Or are we just going to forget that bit happened as well? Verstappen won it over the season, simple. So for anyone new who's just joined us, the first protest was chucked out. That was not upheld. The first protest was overtaken under the safety car. After that, there was another one. There was a second protest. That was to do with the restart. That was more directed at the FIA instead of Max Verstappen. And that one has also been not been upheld. So that also means that is not that's not happened. You need help. I need help. Okie dokie. Bye-bye. Just trying to... FIA dismiss both appeals as Max Verstappen breathes a sigh of relief. That is very true. That is very, very true. Very, very true. Mates, Max win has been confirmed. The stewards say the race director is allowed to control the use of safety car, and taking the results from the penultimate lap as Mercedes requested is effectively shortening the race retrospectively and hence not appropriate. So the reason, and now there has been a little bit more substance. There's a little bit more substance given to us. Let me just read that again. The stewards say the race director is allowed to control the use of the safety car, and taking the results of the penultimate lap as Mercedes requested is effectively shortening the race retrospectively and hence not appropriate. So it would not be appropriate, and I agree, to, shorten the race because the outcome is not what you want. So the resolution is it's done. The resolution is Max is the World Drivers' Championship. It had to be done, actually. It had to be done before Thursday, because Thursday is when they're giving out the title. So that lovely, massive, great big trophy, the massive award that's being handed out at the gala, the FIA gala on Thursday. So it had to be done today. This may go to the Court of Arbitration. So we do have to to wait for that as well. But that won't be tonight. That will be in weeks, months. We don't know, but I do think that will happen. Hamilton actually took it on the chin, didn't get involved. It was the team that took it to the protest. I agree, and it was his dad, wasn't it, that said well done to Max as well. So that was very big of them too. I do agree. Waiting to Checo this season, I'll give him a 7. He's learnt the car, doing very well, and yeah, he's getting there. He is certainly getting there. Pics of them leaving the stewards again. Yeah, it's all done. Found on the same certain basket waving for him 29 times as Hamilton went track limits in Bahrain. That is true. He did go over quite a few. Come, Brad, what a dumbass comment. I agree. If you can't honestly think that, I'm not even going to get into it. Is there any chance this can still be overturned? If so, yes. How? Yes, it could be. If Mercedes take this to the Court of Arbitration, and the Court of Arbitration ruled that the FIA did not have the reasoning or the right to change the rules of their competition, if they do that, then yeah, that it could get overturned. But right now, it cannot, because it's already done the appeal process, which he had 30 minutes till the end of the race, or after the end of the race, to do that, and they did not do that. What do you think about the new cars? I'm really excited to see them. Really, really, really excited to see that in terms of what racing that will give us next season. Will the racing be closer? We'll see. Massey changed rules for entertainment. That's all. That's it. All this could have been avoided if he stuck to the rule. Simple. I think he did it for the. You're right. The entertainment value is a part, and of course, there are going to be some YouTubers and some fans who just don't like the idea that you've done it because of entertainment. But we have to live in the real world. We have entertainment. But he's also done it for, do you know what? This season could not have been ended behind a safety car, guys. You could not have done that. This season is going to go down in history as one of the greatest seasons ever had in Formula One. One of the closest battles with two extremely determined and amazing drivers. This could not have been ended by the safety car. Max winning is good for F1, but FIA needs to review the rules of 2022. Hello from Mexico. Big up to you, Lewis. I do agree they do need to review the rules and sort that out very quickly. I'm glad that Max won the championship as a fan, but as a racing fan, it's sad to witness the FIA or Massey had done to the seasons. Penalties at some drivers and no penalties in others. I agree there needs to be a lot more consistency. That is for sure. It is official. FIA document is online. Let me just double check. Not that I don't believe you, but let's get that document. I want to see that document. Yes, can be overturned if they go to court. 100%. Senna is one of the best. Well, that just goes without saying, doesn't it? Just goes without saying. Why did Lewis complain about Perez dangerous driving? I agree. USA. The FIA dismissed that. Don't like tweeting. They do not like tweeting it. Just wanted to see your channel is legendary. That's it. Have a good one. Well, thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. I just want to go to the FIA now. FIA documents. That's what we want. Not sporting regulations. We're not about to go that far. You say that but they did, and for 54 laps led by 11s and 5 back markers between them. Yeah, at the restart, it was Max right behind him and new softs. How is that fair or even allowed? Oh, to put it as well, do you know what there's two parts to that, right? There's part one, which is we've always allowed lapped cars to go past and to overtake, to catch up. But normally they catch up the back of a pack, but that's been, slammed by Martin Brundle's been a huge slammer of that. So we always do that. And secondly, Max Verstappen pitted. Lewis Hamilton could have pitted. Like he could have come into the pits, or Mercedes could have pitted Lewis Hamilton and sent him back out with that temporarily to follow our latest. Oh, they've their thing is down. I'm pretty sure. It's actually down. That is incredible. That is incredible. But he pitted. Lewis didn't. Very simple. Lewis pitted and they did not. So yeah, their face is showing nothing either. So corruption has won out of the second protest has been rejected. How is corruption won? I would love to know. I don't get how corruption has won. Someone enlighten me. I'm confused. FIA dismissed both appeals as Max Verstappen. Yeah, we got that one. Surely, regardless of Max protest against the FIA, they can't change the outcome, right? They could. The stewards could have. It would have been unheard of. The stewards going. Could you have imagined that? Could you have imagined the stewards going against their own race director? That would have been hilarious, and definitely would not have been in any way, shape, or form good. But yeah, they're always going to back Michael Massey. The only one who might not is the Court of Arbitration. Should have red flagged it, and that is one of the options they could have done. But Michael Massey had already said if there was an incident like that, it would just safety car it. It's a tough one. It's a really tough one, guys. We could have done it in any way. So many different ways this could have been done. It is a shame. Did Mercedes' decision not to pick cost Lewis to win, or did the FIA cost Lewis to win? Well, no, it's Mercedes, really. Look, Mercedes could have pitted. They would have been behind Max because I would have assumed Max would have just gone out. But Lewis would have been on fresh tyres. He would have been on fresher tyres than Max and would have been in the position that Max was, where he could try and overtake. It's a really, really tough one. We'll surely lose in court. Well, I don't know that. Luckily for me, I'm not the FIA's lawyer. So I don't have to worry about being, back in the FIA. So we'll see. But they might do. But we don't know how the Court of Arbitration is going to see this. Zachary is crying. I'm not sure why you're crying, Zach. Follow Anthony Martial on Instagram whilst you're here. Love to see it. Will Mercedes pull out of sport if the ruling stays? No. If they have, that would be really petty, as they have had many decisions go their way. Right, all it takes is for that. Do you know what? We wouldn't have been having this conversation, right? If for example, the FIA decided to give Lewis Hamilton a 30-second penalty for the incident at Silverstone. We're just using that. I'm just picking that one out of thin air and going for that. If they had done that, right, then you know what? We wouldn't be having this conversation because it'd be less controversial because it hadn't happened in the last race. It's a really difficult situation. Really difficult situation. Why did Lewis didn't pit at the end? Well, again, because they just didn't want to win it. Well, not win it, but they didn't want to give Max the position. This has to go to court. If it was racing, as Massey said, then Max should have had overtaken the back markers that Lewis had to cross. Yeah, that's one of your opinion. Even if all 8 cars would have been allowed to run lap, this still would not have had to make an impact. It depends on when it was called and how long the cars would have taken to catch up. Well, you don't have to let them catch up. You just have to make sure they're a safe distance away from the faster cars, shall we say. So the FIA dismissed all protest opinion. Yeah, they have. And I think that's the right decision. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we're here to race. As Michael Massey said, corruption won tonight joke. Are you joking? I hope you're joking, because I haven't got the energy to fight another one of Lewis's fanboys. But Max would have forced a crash. What crash? There was no crash today. Out of context, what do you think about F1 returning to India? We are waiting like hell. You had New Delhi, didn't you? You had that track in New Delhi. I thought it was a great track. I enjoyed playing it on the Formula 1 game. Back on PS2, actually. It was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. Interview for ESPN Lantern. He said was because of the motor of his car was close to broke, and the team, they didn't want a safety car, but happens anyway. Of course, that's another story. Yeah. What the reason why they had Perez? Yeah. Is there an investigation or not? No, the investigation's done. Corruption won tonight. Oh, what a joke. Hammy fans need to stop. I agree. What's the verdict? The verdict is then that Max has won the title and both protests have been thrown out by the FIA, which is, for me, the right decision. It is the right decision at the end of the day. So that is the latest there. What about Lewis overtaking Max outside the track in that turn? Yeah, that was looked at by the stewards, and the steward said, carry on. So, But to be fair, you can't really complain about that because they did the same for Max in Brazil. Although the penalty was different in Jeddah. So it's, I don't know, boys. It is sort of made up as it goes along a little bit here. Hamilton led for 54 and thoroughly deserved to win the last race. But he didn't. I know it sounds harsh, but he didn't. He led for 57. Do you know what? It's a 58-lap race. He could lead all 58 laps. If I overtake him in the last corner, guess what? I deserve to win. It's the way it is. What if Manchester United, right? They're winning 1-0 for the whole game, all 90 minutes. And then Chelsea chucked 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. Guess what? Chelsea deserve to win. That's the way sport is. It's a madness, really. If anyone is like forcing crashes, it's Lewis, cough, Silverstone. Yeah. All these Lewis fans complaining, but Lewis himself isn't the one complaining. Toto is. It is. One insane season back and forth between Red Bull and Mercedes. It kept things exciting. Does Max keep the championship? He does. Yeah, it's not Max's fault that the safety car was out. But yes, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well with notifications on so you don't miss any of our videos. We will be doing our our yearly review of this year's F1 season at some point in the next couple of weeks. So keep your eyes out for that. And Border Toto, sore loser. They have had a car that runs rings around most of the grid. Get over it. Yeah, they've won like 7 titles in a row. Little football analogy. Well, what do you expect me to use? A tennis analogy or a cricket analogy? Oh, we can do cricket if you want. England, right? Actually, cricket's a really terrible one because I was going to, okay, we'll do cricket 2020, right? The 20 series. England, they got, actually, no, football's just the easiest one to use. I don't know cricket or tennis. Like, come on. Can we all just agree that whether we agree with the decisions or not, the FIA and the stewards are trash with communication this season? Yeah, communication's been horrific. Has been shocking. I'm new to F1. Is Max Verstappen better than Michael Schumacher? No, there's no way. There's no way that he's better than Michael Schumacher. No way. To whoever said Hamilton led for 54 laps deserved to win, by your logic, Max led the most number of laps the whole season. He deserves to win too. Max was the better driver throughout the season. Thank you. Do we really want to have a sport where the first 90% of a race is meaningless because some last-minute surprise is going to decide it? That doesn't happen every race. That doesn't happen every single time. That has happened once. Not once, but it's happened today. It's not a regular occurrence. I felt hate in this Formula One season towards the drivers and Max and Nose. Do you think this is a result of the FIA? No, I think this is a result of both team principals. Look, both sides wanted to win. Both sides absolutely wanted to win. The words that has come out of both of their mouths, I think, has caused this season to be toxic, and there's a lot of anger. But do you know what? I've loved every minute of it. Are you a Max fan? I like Max, yes. Word around the campfire is Massey uses a twister board. Red 10-second Bennett. Do you know what? We can obviously it's a serious thing, but we must also try and take some funny moments out of it. That could be true. I'm joking. That's obviously not how they do it, but yeah. The words of great Dom Toretto: it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. I completely agree. I come from Formula One. Had a few laps for safety cars, the same way soccer does. Well, it's not even soccer. British touring cars, when there's a safety car, permitting there's enough time, that is, they add the laps on at the end. So if you've done 5 laps under a safety car, they'll add 5 laps on. I think we can do that. I think we should do that. I think if you do that, this whole thing is done. This whole thing, we're not in this situation. So that's for sure. Why did Red Bull retire Checo? And over radio, we could hear Checo asking why. Well, apparently, there was some sort of engine issue. And what that did was they didn't want a safety car coming out or something. From what I've heard, anyway. So they retired him. He could have got to the end, I assume. Or, if you're into conspiracy theories, apparently the news on the street is Red Bull underfueled him so that he would be lighter, so that he could fight Lewis a bit better, and then he would be able to, and then they would retire him and no one's the wiser. I don't believe that's true. But, if you're into conspiracy theories, why not? You think Toto's comment to Massey to redo the last lap was too much? I think there's a lot of comments from both sides that were too much. I think Toto Wolff asking no safety car, please don't affect the race with a safety car. That was wrong, because if there is a safety issue and they feel a safety car is the thing needed, then absolutely we should have a safety car, right? I also think, Christian Horner going, we only need 1 lap to race. Well, of course you do only need 1 lap because you're the one who's going to win it. But, that's not really the way that we go about things. So I think there's comment from both sides that I think there's comments from both sides that have caused the issue this year. The football analogy, I mistyped it, so my bad. It's all right. It's not. It's all right. I thought you were going for me because I used a football analogy. It's the only one that really sort of works with Formula One. But now FIA failed to apply its rules. If Mercedes wins the appeal, it would still support them. FIA must know they cannot up any team that they know that they must know their place. Well, I think they do know their place. They're the governing body of Formula One. Lewis won the race. He had a 12-second gap. But you just had that feeling that the FIA would get a last word. Unfortunately, when we needed quick decisions, the FIA dropped the ball. That would be due to inexperience of the race director. There is inexperience of this race director. That you cannot sit here and tell me there's not an inexperience with this race director. There is absolutely an inexperience. He's done his best. He's not been perfect, but he's done what he can. Conspiracy theories already out there. That crash was masterfully crafted by the FIA. I heard it was Mick Schumacher that crafted it. I heard it was Schumacher. He didn't want his dad's thing being outdone. So yeah, I'd love to see it. Randy, that literally happens in every sport. Yeah. Do you feel if the drivers are vice versa on the last lap situation, Max would have crashed into Hamilton to take the lead? Hamilton, being gentleman, didn't do so-called hard racing. No, I don't think Max would have absolutely punted him. No, I don't think he'd have crashed into him. No, not a way. It's a result of close competition. Max and Lewis have a grand rivalry in the making. Oh, it's two really... It's an interesting one, right, these two, because you've got Lewis really at the end of his Formula One career. He's only got, a couple of years left maximum. Then you've got Max, who's really at the start of his career. He was 7. I know he started very young. He started when he was 17. He's just won his first driver's title after 7 years. So he's, 24 now. He's still very young. The new guard, they've just had their first one crowned. Now we've got the likes of... I've got the likes of Norris, Russell. I'm excited to see Russell at Mercedes, see what that does in terms of the chemistry at Mercedes. Obviously, you've got Norris, who, if the McLaren can deliver something, somewhat of a good package in terms of winning races, he could be up there. You've got Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz. There's so many good young drivers coming through. It's going to be an epic year next year. Great year for F1. Max deserved. Completely agree. Big ups to everyone in the chat. Absolutely. Is Hamilton returning to Mert next year? I heard he might go elsewhere because he only signed a 1-year deal. I thought he signed a 2-year deal. I swear he lived in signed a 2-year deal. You fucker, where do you live in England? Well, mate, I live in England. Somewhere. Hunt me down. I'll give you a hint. I'm in the West Country. If that doesn't give you a hint, I don't know what will. It's safe to say Niall has beaten Pete in viewership war. They didn't know there was a war. Lewis already kicked the car when getting out. Didn't want to say anything about next year. It would be a call if Sport Red Bull brings it for a chance at the 8th with the same material as Max. What, you want Red Bull to sign Lewis Hamilton? Oh boy. In the great words of Anthony Martial, if you aren't lazy and work hard enough, you will still win. Watch himself and Max do. Mercedes had a chance to pit twice and didn't. Red Bull gambled, it paid off. Yeah. Do I agree with all of the FIA final lap decisions? No. I agree with the principle of doing it. The way they did it? No. No, you can't sit here and say that I agree with it completely. But I can understand why he did it, and I can understand how difficult it was for him. But yes, please do subscribe, as Ross says here. Massey ruined the whole race. He was clearly the winner with all of the confusions. Made a mess of the championship. But did he? Because we could talk about Silverstone again, if you want. But yeah, please subscribe. Lewis fanboys, tears bring me joy. Toto's last radio broadcast music to my ears. Yeah, it was certainly helpful. The car had limited amount of fuel, dude. You can't just add the number of laps. Also, the tires are rated for particular life. And do you know what? It's a fair comment, buddy. I completely forgot in my head, that they fuel to a certain lap. So adding it on would be a bit of a... The only way, right? And I can already fight back at you. Not fight. That's a good comment. Refuel them. Not bring back refueling. What you do is you do the safety car, and then you allow everyone to come into a pits for a time, right? They get a time in the pits where they can only put fuel in. Then you refuel them, send them on their merry way. That could work. Actually took the right decision. Do a poll, Max or Lewis. We can't do polls, I don't think. Toto deserved this result. He is not the Lord of F1. I think Christian Horner was saying it would only take one lap to get the lap car sorted out. Yeah, but you could also look at it the other way. What did you think of Russell's tweet, bending the knee to Lewis already? I thought it was a disgraceful tweet. I could not believe what I was reading. I really couldn't. I could not believe it. I was shocked, flabbergasted. Next year, Nia stop the teams being able to contact the race director or stewards during the race, during the course of the race. I completely agree. Big up Max Verstappen, always support my fellow Brits. Same here. Mercedes should have pitted if they really wanted to win the race. I agree. Love the salt of these conspiracies. There are a few. I wanted Max to win for a change. As a Lewis fan, I'm happy knowing we had a very intense finish. Well, that's the thing. You just got recommended the best channel on YouTube. We love to see it. It was 900 people, Tyler, believe it or not. Yeah, if I tell you how many people we've had even just come and look at it, it's double figures. And I'm talking double figure Ks. So yeah, it's a lot of people that have viewed it. Of course I'll remember you, Wolf. I'm not an ass. You got the Red Bull wings. The Red Bull did have wings. If you were Massey, what would you have done differently in the last... Oh, boy. I would have... it's a very difficult one. What I would have done is I would have... It's very... You put me on the spot here. So what I would have done is I would have let them overtake with 4 laps to go or 3 laps to go. But I would have been waving. I mean, like, we're talking quadruple, double yellow flags. So I'm telling you, around that last part of the track, around, I think it's turns 13, 14. It was in between there, wasn't it? 15, yeah. No, 14 and 15. So around about where the instant was, I want you going as slow as you can. Do that. And then, obviously, around the rest of the track, you can do what you essentially catch the back of the field. Then, with 2 laps to go, I would have, provided that the mess is all cleared and everything sorted, I would have brought the safety car in. Then I'd let race happen for the last 2 laps. That's what I'd have done. It's very difficult, though. Very difficult. I think if Bottas was up there in the mix, Max probably wouldn't have had to pit again in the new tyres and doesn't pass Lewis on the last lap. I agree with you there. He's very lucky that Fauci was quite crap. Luck had evaded Max so far. Happy it was all compensated. Yeah. Just wishing next year's cars from fastest to slowest is less than 0.5. Yeah, I'm hoping that as well. Big up Niall and everyone in the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Please do. Top car versus top driver, and the top driver won. Well, you can't just say that the Red Bull was a pile of crap, because it was certainly not a pile of crap. I can assure you that. Slow zones. Yeah, just a fat ass slow zone. I'm talking, I want every yellow flag in the vicinity of that area waving. Right? You can go at good speed for the rest of the lap, but around that part, if there was still a car and a crane, I would have been like, I want you tiptoeing and I want you ready to stop. Go as slowly as possible. I don't care. And, that's what I'd have done. I've heard a new guy in town. They say he is better than Lewis. His name is Akim Fenwa. Not quite. We should have a special race week of F2 cars and then karting after. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. I'm a Max fan, but the FIA is not trustworthy, not applying their own rules. It's a tough one. Big up to Wolf. Is Merck entitled to go to court? Will court have the power to change the outcome? Yes, and I think yes, but I'm not, a lawyer, so I wouldn't have the best information there. Thank you, Racing Gods, for giving us King Latifi. No, I'm not about to say that. Slow zones would be extremely hard to enforce on where they start and end. I know, but the FIA's got lots of money. I mean, ultimately, the slow zone would have been turns 13, 14, 15. That would have been the slow zone. I would have probably said that turns 12 probably get added in as well as part of the slow zone. Whilst you're in the safety car, that's what I would have done. Max is looking more like the great Senna. He does. I hope in the new 2022 there's no one or two dominating teams so that drivers can prove their mettle. I hope so as well. I completely agree with you. That would just be magical. It would just be magical if that was the case. I would love life. Love it. How can Massey decide the lap cars cannot be overtaken? It's a tough one. Farewell, Honda. Yeah, goodbye, Honda. They're leaving. But Lewis is. They're showing pictures of Lewis, but I think he's just accepting the defeat. I think he's just going to accept defeat. Just wasn't his day. Slow cars really affected the faster cars this season. Yeah, I totally agree. What will the difference about these F20? Well, the difference is you should be able to race. You should be able to get in and behind a bit better. You should be able to follow around corners, fast corners, all of that. So there's a lot. Hey, it's me on the screen. Big up, Fluffy Puffy Puppy. No, Massey shouldn't be fired. I think Massey needs help. Massey decides the penultimate lap that lap cars cannot be overtaken. Upon Chris asking Massey, he replies he will check and then says lap cars can be overtaken. It's a tough one. So decision like that it's tough. Will this be the F1 TV series? Drive to Survive? I cannot wait for Drive. What I think I might do for Drive to Survive this year is go straight to Abu Dhabi, because I will put this as politely as possible. Screw the rest of the episodes. I'm just going straight to Abu Dhabi. I want to see what they get there. Sad that it couldn't be a 100-meter sprint between Wolf and Horner. See, we've got some good ideas here. We've got some good ideas. Screw Mercedes. I love that they lost to Max. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Big up to Joshy. Seb says FIA dismissed Merck. Just got the update. Max World Drivers' Championship is fair, right? Yeah, it's fair. He deserved it. He did deserve it. That is for sure. Screw Mercedes, though. They done that one already. Summer Girl Talk, or remember the third place of Carlos? No, well, bad time to be on the podium. Yeah, I mean, you got to feel for Carlos, don't you? You do sort of have to feel for him, because he got onto the podium, but he ain't getting remembered on that podium. Apart from on the pictures, of course. He'll be remembered on the pictures. Nah, everyone's going to remember. But that would have been, if it was Checo, would be more, I think, benefiting if Checo was the guy on the podium with Max and Lewis. But, Max won it, and I'm sure Red Bull aren't getting too pushy. Also, Kimi did retire today. Big up to Kimi. Also, Antonio Giovinazzi left as well, which is a shame as well. Wants some MotoGP for some real racing, and the 8 riders with a real chance of winning. My dad loves bike racing. Me and him have sat in front of it about loads of times. I just cannot get into it. I don't like bike racing. I do touring cars though. Any concern that new regs provide too much parity? It can get boring if everyone's the same. No, I think the racing should be a lot better, shouldn't they? Why can't lap cars just fall back to their racing position? Well, I've said that. Just let them be lapped. Controversially, that would be yeah, it would be controversial, wouldn't it? How do you get them to do that as well? Who is Max the blind? He is the light. To the hungry, he is the breed. To the stick, he is the curse. To the lonely, he is the company. To the sad, he is the joy. For the poor, he is the treasure. For me, Max is everything. Max is amazing. And that's a lovely little poem. If the shoe was on the other foot and Max lost the last lap, would we be having this same discussion, or would we be saying Lewis deserved to win? I think we would be having the exact same conversation, but instead of all the Lewis fans being angry at me, I'd have all the Max fans being angry at me. And that would mean me being angry at myself as well. Hear me out. Big respect for Max winning, but there was an 11-second gap, 5 cars in between. How do you cover that in one lap? Well, quite simply, basically, the race director let the lap cars unlap themselves, which happens all the time. And yeah, sorry, I just showed Anthony Hamilton. So yeah, they let the lapped cars by, and well, it was behind a safety car, wasn't it? Great day for the Alpha Tauri, absolutely, completely agree. Max winning track. Alonso was delighted he can unlap himself. He was rooting for Max. There certainly was a little bit there. Formula E, I have not watched Formula E, so I'm not going to have a say on that. As far as my opinion is concerned, I think that Verstappen deserved to win the championship, but today Lewis should have won. Yep, that's a fair way of putting it. Max winning track, but Lewis accept that. But Merck had not. Yeah, completely agree again. And big up Tyler, he's still here. Mercedes have a favourite driver, Lewis, and screw Bottas. What do you think will happen with Russell? Well, I don't know if they're going to screw Russell, because yeah, I don't think Mercedes will screw Russell because he is their future. I think people seem to forget that. Yeah. Breaking news: Mercedes intends to launch a second appeal. This one would go to the FIA. So the Mercedes are going to appeal to the FIA about the FIA. Are we expecting a different outcome to that? No, we're not. Red Bull never complained when Lewis unlapped himself and changed his tires during a red flag. All comes around. True. Hope next year's driving is clean and fair. Me and you both. Yeah, of course, always supporting. Max overtook. Did he overtake, or was he in the process of overtaking? Because from what I could see, he had a wing in front of him. And we've seen that all the time. We see that all the time. Right, all the time. So, yeah. Adding laps lost under a safety car to race seems a great solution. It does. Maybe you force the drive, and the other way to do this, just in case, obviously, you look at the thing is, you tell the teams they have to have a minimum of 5 laps of fuel in their car, right? And that way they can have those laps for the thing. That's one way. They have to have 5 laps of fuel at the end, providing that it's not been, you've not had to go into it. I think we'll have to wait until testing. We'll have to wait for testing. We'll have to wait for the others. Oh, well, first race. Haskell be World Championship next year. Mick winning World Trophy. Do you know what? That would be mad. You're mad. Lewis was robbed. Max wasn't fast enough to deserve to win. He was fast enough over the season. Are we judging it by wing on safety car? Shut it, you muppets. Brutal. Can't take the FIA to Parliament or whatever the Supreme Court in England is called. You can take the FIA to the Court of Arbitration, which I think is European. Mercedes are just embarrassing themselves now. The FIA aren't going to change their mind. I agree. They need to go to the Court of Arbitration. For 10 seconds past the wiped off last lap, that's not fair. After putting all the hard work in this race, it's my opinion, is a joke. Okie dokie. Is Williams in any way affiliated with Red Bull? No, it is affiliated with Mercedes. He was in front by a smallest amount, but technically he did overtake. Should have been in line if he knew he had faster tyres. But he was behind at the safety car line. He was behind at the safety car line. And my opinion in an overtake is you have to have your whole car over him, else it's not an overtake. So, he was in front for the smallest margin. Where was my invite now? This one was already crazy enough without having to try and explain to you, but my apologies. Lewis just needs to win the 8th title, then he is out. Russell got some big boy socks to fill up. He has. It's going to be tough. But yeah, also this was a really, really spontaneous idea that has come out very well. You missed a lot. Yeah, it was a bit mad. Liam, that's not even half of it. It's unfortunate their protests distract from the what is all about hard racing, hard but fair racing. The lead shipper teams have bigger egos than the drivers. That is true. That is true. If the 5 cars were left, then it would have looked a bit deserved. Maybe. Bristol, Plymouth. Russell will be in next year. The era of Mercedes has come to an end and everyone has to accept it. Rumours, Red Bull ditching the Honda engine. Have you been away for the last 9 years? Yeah, they did that ages ago. It's still going to be the Honda engine power unit, but it's going to be run by Mercedes. That's that really. If Bahrain was anything to go by, Bahrain 2019. So I don't understand. I don't know what you're. I don't know what you're insinuating about Bahrain 2019. I'm confused. No, you better show us your sub increase after this. Yeah, I will do. I will do. That safety car made Max win the race. Of course it did. Of course it did. Of course. That's true. I'm not going to argue with you. That's true. The safety car did. But welcome to Formula One. Let Lewis get his 8th, then he might do it as a hobby like Kimi. I don't care. I don't care if he does it as a hobby or if he does it for his job or whatever. You have to earn your titles. He didn't earn it this year. Mercedes going to tribal, go to a court of arbitration. Yes. True. He has a Plymouth scarf in the background, people. That's not there, apparently. Max deserved this season. Can't say the same about the race. Verstappen fan, by the way, very happy anyways. Congratulations to Max. Keep pushing and hope next year the real next year will be the next world championship for Max. It may well be. If this is racing, then I don't want to weigh GF1, watch F1 ever again. That was a joke. Jordan, I'm sure they're devastated. Stefano Domenicali, Ross Brawn will be crying over their very expensive breakfast tomorrow that Jordan Caldo does not want to watch Formula One anymore. I don't know how I'm going to console them. I don't know how they're going to feel. They're going to be devastated that Jordan from God knows where, I'm guessing the UK, will not want to watch F1 again. They are going to be unconsolable. I cannot. It's going to be a difficult time. It's a difficult time. But Jordan does not want to watch Formula One. F1 looks really bad. No one's telling you have to watch it. Verstappen is confirmed as champion. That is true. Plymouth Argyle, love that. Thank you. Verstappen was a bit unlucky all season, and finally luck came his way. You're not wrong. Oh, you're joking. No way. There is no way this was anywhere near. Because Lewis is black. No way. Right? This was purely down to the racing. Don't do that. Right? Do not do that. Lewis has had many things go his way all season. Right? Don't do that. Nico is a Dutch legend right now. This is true. Plymouth Greek. What happened was Karma Red Bull took all the penalties and DNF sportingly, while Merck saw all season. Greek food in Plymouth. I've had some Greek food. Yeah, I've had some. Lewis did earn his titles, you delusional man. Did I say he didn't? Did I say he didn't earn his 7 world titles? No, I said he didn't earn this title. I didn't understand. He didn't have this title. Right. So let's just read out the thing. He's a joint record holder already. Right, so, and this is where I know I don't know what is wrong with you. Right, Lewis Hamilton already is a record holder for the amount of pole positions and race wins. So he holds those 2 records. He's currently joint record holder with Michael Schumacher, both on 7 world titles each. They both have 7, so he's already joint first. It's not because he's black, it's because on this time, he didn't get the rub of the green. Max has suffered from it. Lewis has won on it. This time, Lewis didn't get the rub of the green. There was mistakes made by Mercedes. It didn't go his way. It's not because he's black, and it's not because the sport is too afraid of having a black record holder. It's because the way the racing went. It's nothing to do with Lewis being black. He's already a record holder for a lot of records in Formula One, to which he should and is proud of that achievement. Right? He should be very proud that a person of color is able to hold these achievements and is able to do what he has done. But in this instance, this is because, unfortunately, he didn't get the rub of the green. Max has suffered from it the same with Lewis has gained from some decision making. So I think it's wrong that you mention. I think it's wrong you mention that it's because of race. I think that is really, really wrong. Max deserves a title from all the bad luck, but Lewis deserves a race. A lot of people have said that, and I completely agree. I completely agree with you there. Some very good Greek restaurants in Plymouth. I've heard that. Jordan, Liberty Media will be like, yeah, Liberty Media will be crying right now. I just knew that one of the drivers at the back was going to ruin Lewis's race. Oh yeah, they just had a plan. They had a plan. They just had a plan. You can't explain what happened today in any technical way. Yes, I can, because right. Yes, I can. So Michael Massey decided to let the lapped drivers, right? He's let the lap drivers unlap themselves. That happens all the time. He let a certain amount, which I thought was a little strange, but I could understand the situation. Then he has started the race again. That's the technical element. And if you want me to get more technical, shall we read the FIA? Well, you couldn't see it, but we'll go through the FIA. So the protest dismissed. On the December 12th, the parties were summoned at the 11th at 8:15, documents 54 and 55, and heard the following persons were present during the meeting. For Mercedes, Ron Meadows, Andrew Shovlin, and Paul Harris. Paul Harris is the legal team counsel, lawyer. On behalf of Red Bull, Jonathan Wheatley, Christian Horner, Adrian Newey. Red Bull, as an interested party, were permitted to attend. The hearing adjourned at 8:50 to allow Red Bull to consider its response in further detail and reconvened at 9:30. The race director was present for the reconvening hearing. 2. At the hearing, there was no objections against the composition of the stewards panel. The parties were set out all arguments and addressed the questions asked by the stewards. 3. At the hearing of the parties referred to the document submitted, Red Bull submitted graphical information Exhibit A. The claims of Mercedes. Mercedes claimed that there were 2 breaches of sporting regulation, Article 48.12, namely that which states any car that has been lapped by the leader will be required to pass the cars on the lead lap and the safety car. And once the last lap car has passed the leader, the safety car will return to pits at the end of the following lap. Mercedes argued that had this been complied with, car 44 would have won the race. They therefore requested the stewards to amend the classification under Article 11.9.3H of the FIA International Sporting Code. Red Bull's arguments in defence. Red Bull argued, 1. Any does not mean all. 2. The Article 48.13 of the sporting regulation states that the message of safety car is in this lap is the signal that it will enter the pit lane at the end of that lap. That therefore the Article 48.13 overrides Article 48.12. The Article 15.3 gives the race director overriding authority to use over the use of the safety car. 5. That even after all the cars have been lapped, 8 in total, of which 5 were allowed to overtake the safety car, it would not have changed the outcome of the race. Race director's evidence. Race director stated that the purpose of Article 48.12 was to remove the lap cars that would interfere in the racing between the leaders, and in his view, Article 48.13 was the one that applied in this case. The race director also stated that it had long been agreed by all teams that where possible, it was highly desirable for the race to end on a green condition, i.e. not under the safety car. Conclusions of the stewards. The stewards consider the protest is admissible. Having considered the various statements made by the parties, the stewards determined the following. The Article 15.3 allows the race director to control the use of the safety car, which in our determination includes its deployment and withdrawal. That although Article 48.12 may not have been applied fully in relation to a safety car returning to pits the end of a following lap, Article 48.13 overrides that. And once the message the safety car has been displayed, it's mandatory to allow the withdrawal of the safety car at the end of that lap. That notwithstanding Mercedes' request, the stewards remediate the matter by amendment classification to reflect the positions at the end of the penultimate lap. This is stewards believe this is effectively shortening the race retrospectively and hence not applied. According to the protest, accordingly, the protest is dismissed. The protest deposit is not refunded. So, you wanted the technical way. There is your technical way. Thank you. You can. Lewis was not good enough this year. You're a Max fanboy. You can't even drive there. Who, me? I wasn't out there, boy. I was at home. That coming from a white man. So how can you say that? I can say this quite easily. He already holds records in Formula One. I could get every single record he holds, but we're not going to do that. He holds a lot. So many stupid fucking people in this chat. Max 1. I agree. Mate, the race should have ended under safety car. The 4 cars that were let by did not join the pack, and the race had already restarted. This is unfair. Cry. Amazing. Lewis fans even dare to protest after all the things that came towards Lewis this year. Again, I agree. Pritchard just wants attention. If there was a conspiracy against Lewis, they would have penalised him for what happened on lap 1 today. Yeah. I'm confused. I'm really confused what's going on. We in Holland are totally okay with Lewis winning last year's. Do not be sore losers and distance yourself from the Unanic Toto, please. Lewis was amazing today. He showed that when it gets to crunch time, he still has that extra gear that Max doesn't have yet. Shame it ended how it did. Both unbelievable champions. That Pritchard needs to go to bed. He's delusional. He is saying it was accident, was engineered by F1. So yeah, Toto Wolff is mad. There's a lot. Just seeing if there's any other comments. Hi Niall, what do you think of Carlos Sainz? He was the best of the best, beating Golden Boy Charles Leclerc. He did. That's not spoken about enough, is it? That Carlos Sainz did in fact finish above Charles Leclerc. That's an incredible achievement as well. Incredible achievement. Guys, stop being so toxic. As a Lewis fan, I feel sad for what happened, but I appreciate his hard work throughout the season. He is an inspiration. I believe he will get his 8th title. Congrats to Max also. And that's a very mature way of looking at it. It's a shame that not everyone can be so mature, but, it's the way it is. F1 is entertainment sport, that's all. This is so illegal. Oh, I don't know what's illegal. What, me talking or the race? Because the race, I don't think was that illegal. Sam says, I do think it's a bit of a shame that people are laying into Toto. The tables were turned, you'd fully expect Horner to do exactly the same. Yeah, you could say that. We still live. We are still live. We are absolutely still live. Daniel says, Verstappen deserves a championship. Nia, stop making excuses for Lewis. Big up to Wolf, is still here. What did you think about Checo, the Checo defense? I thought it was brilliant racing from both Checo and Lewis. I thought it was fantastic racing. I think both of them can absolutely be extremely proud of what they did. 100%. Please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel, because it will massively help us out here. And we have got our end of season review coming up, so make sure you tune in for that as well. For God's sake, Lewis lost. Get over it. Well done, Max. I agree. Max was punted off twice by this year by Max. Payback is bitch. Big up Joshy. Big up Joshy. Ben's the most hated car brand globally for being sore losers. This is true. We should all celebrate Max winning together. Max fans and Lewis fans that celebrate Max winning. No joke. I think Toto is a disgrace for both Lewis and Mercedes. I don't know if he's a disgrace, but look, we are going to wrap it up there. I've been going for about an hour and a half, so thank you to everyone who has joined us for this stream. It's been a mad stream. I definitely wasn't expecting so many people to join in. So thank you for all of the comments, whether they've been negative, whether they've been good. To keep it short, Max Verstappen is the World Drivers' Championship. He has won it and did amazing. He's done an amazing job. He's done an amazing job over the season. He absolutely deserves it. Before you go, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well with notifications on if you have not done so already, because I'd love to see some of you all very soon. If you're into football, then we do football. If you're into Formula One, we'll be doing Formula One all season next year as well. And we've got our yearly review coming up this season. So thank you for everyone. Yeah, we'll be back. Proud of you now. Thank you, Wolf. Thank you. But yes, we'll be back. Was nothing but awesome. Thank you. And thank you to all of the people subbed. Hopefully more of you people do sub as well. Lewis is an absolute legend. No doubt that Max was incredibly good. Great year, except what it is. And undeserved championship. That's your opinion. But as I say, thank you for watching. We'll be back later on. We've got the late show, but we'll be back. But thanks for watching, and peace out.